guys, so today I just want to talk a little bit about clean beauty. What it is, what you should look out for, should you invest yourself in your money in clean beauty? And really all it comes down to is marketing and money. Two things, marketing and money, and really money. Between 2017 and 2018, the natural skincare market, clean, natural, grew to $1.6 billion, which is about a quarter of the $5.6 billion annual skincare sales. So 25% of money being spent is on natural, clean beauty. The interesting thing is terms like clean and natural are not regulated at all. A lot of these products tend to have very high concentrations of ingredients that cause irritation and allergies. So keep an eye out for that. It's a business model, really is what it is. It's a marketing tool, and it plays on people's fears and emotions. They make them believe that natural is better than synthetic. An interesting thing is everything's a chemical. They try, like there's this whole thing, don't use any product that contains a word you can't pronounce. Although, if it came down to that, to be honest, I don't think I'd use anything. It doesn't even have to do with chemicals. But they say, don't use anything you can't pronounce. So that's an interesting little thing. And it's just everything's a chemical. Arsenic is a chemical. Do you want to put that on your skin? Water is a chemical, H2O. So they're really playing on people's fears that, am I going to get cancer if I use this? The interesting thing is, since this rise in clean beauty has started to happen, dermatologists are seeing a lot new cases of contact dermatitis, rashes, especially on areas of the face and hands, that they are linked to botanical extracts in some of these clean beauty products. And Tata Harper is one brand that's a huge clean beauty brand. At Sephora, they've got their model, their criteria. This is clean beauty if it doesn't have this, 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 and this. But a lot of them contain fragrant extracts, which are prone to cause rashes. That's a big brand. Herbivore is another big one that they consider themselves clean beauty. They don't put preservatives in a lot of their products, which make them go bad and have mold on them, aka the pink cloud cream drama. So they really demonize these chemicals without any proof that they're unsafe. And there's no regulation, so the USDA does not define what clean or natural or green beauty is. I will say the one thing they do regulate, organic, they do regulate that word. So if you're not truly organic, the FDA will come down on you. And this brand is now called Truly. I'm sure you've seen me mention it a gazillion times because they lost a lot of money because they weren't organic at all. And that term is regulated. So a lot of organizations tell customers to avoid things like parabens. And there's a society called the American Contact Dermatitis Society. They named parabens the non-allergen of the year. Although it's interesting, actual research on parabens show that it has some of the lowest rates of allergic reactions. Actually between 0.5% and 1.4% of people that use it. That's pretty low. Interestingly, a chemical came in and replaced parabens, and that chemical is Methylisothiazolinone. And that's a preservative that they started to use a lot in place of parabens. And interestingly enough, that Methylisothiazolinone actually continues to show some of the highest rates of allergic reactions. And it's actually been a lot of regulations come down on that preservative, saying it shouldn't be used in a lot of products that aren't rinse-off products, but it still is allowed in some products, leave-on products, up to a very small percentage. And even I've had issues with that ingredient. So they changed parabens from a preservative that has low rates of irritation and added in this other ingredient, which really has a lot higher rates. So in the long run, is our skin any better because of this? The other frightening thing is a lot more of these preservatives get demonized, and we're going to end up to a point where we don't have any preservatives that are acceptable that people will buy in a product. I don't have any problem using a product that has parabens. And I've never had any reactions to it, but I have had issues with Methylisothiazolinone. So keep that in mind. A lot of times these natural products include botanical ingredients that cause a lot of sensitivity and irritation. Another interesting thing is the FDA has no authority really to recall any toxic beauty products, and manufacturers have to do it themselves. So they really, the FDA regulatory beauty board has, I think, like 20 or 30 employees, very small. How many skincare brands are there? Tens of thousands of skincare brands, and you got 30 people trying to do this. I mean, it ends up falling to the consumer to do their own job, vote with their wallet, and be educated. And a lot of consumers aren't nearly as skincare savvy as you and I are watching this video. You're obviously interested in skincare. A lot of people don't know, or they just hear parabens are bad, so not going to buy anything with parabens in it. But does that mean your skin is going to end up being better? Your products are going to end up safer? I don't think it makes a difference. So clean beauty generally is more expensive. If you notice, a lot of these brands, like the herbivore cleansers, like what, $30? Hate herbivore, by the way. Tata Harper, some of their serums are like $200-$300. And in my opinion, they're not any better than something you could get for $15. So keep that in mind. Also, an interesting thing is a lot of these clean beauty brands are multi-level marketing companies, MLMs. I'll be talking more about these later this week. And they are making a lot of money for a very few amount of people. It's also interesting that picking safe products, skincare products, ends up being kind of the woman's job. A lot of guys don't go shopping for skincare, especially for like babies, sunscreen, things like that. So generally, a lot of these brands focus on marketing to women instead of men, and men generally don't do any of the shopping for it. Most men, especially in households with kids and things like that. So a lot of these brands are tugging at women, making them fear that their children are going to be unsafe or injured later from these ingredients, and they're really just marketing on fear, which is the worst way, but it's also probably the most effective way to market to people. I mean, fear and hope, I guess, right? That's probably the two biggest things. I hope this can make my skin better, or I hope I'm going to not use this on my kid and they're not going to get sick or have a rash or things like that. So you really have to think hard. And if you think about one of the main, one huge figure behind clean beauty, Gwyneth Paltrow, do you want to take advice from her, from someone that uses sunscreen as a highlighter? I don't know, but something to think about. I think most of it is marketing, money, and fear. It's those three things. That's the clean beauty movement in general. I'm not saying these clean beauty products are bad, because a lot of them are just fine, but some of them are just charging extra money and selling you based on fear. And I think it's better off to spend your money based on knowledge. So anyway, I will link to a few articles below. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. If you have any thoughts or comments, definitely leave them below. It's something to think about, because knowledge is power. Fear is the opposite. So anyway, those are my thoughts for today. So leave a comment with anything your thoughts are. So love hearing from you guys, and stay tuned for more later. Thanks so much.